What's going on with Pluribus? All right. So imagine one day you wake up one morning and everybody around you, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, everybody suddenly turned into the world's friendliest. Everybody's turned into the world's friendliest group chat. They want to help. They want you to join the chat permanently. There's no mute button. Now, congratulations, you're now on that TV show Pluribus. From a psychology standpoint, the show is a giant blinking neon sign saying, hey, what actually is a self? So the deeper you go, the less solid your brain feels, like you're trying to stand on a rug that's being politely scooted out from underneath you. If you remember Psychology 101, our self is not really a thing, it is a narrative, a story. So you're basically the unreliable narrator of your own life. You pick some memories, lose others, you sprinkle in motivation, emotion, trauma, bam, you've got a protagonist. Then Pluribus walks in and says, what if somebody deletes the protagonist and uploads a group project instead? So that's why the others in this TV show seem so creepy. They don't have personal narratives anymore. They're all running one giant Google Doc version of reality or identity. Now, if you look at Carol, who's the lead character, she's the last person whose story still belongs to her, which is why she looks like she's experiencing an existential food poisoning problem 24/7. She's having problems. Now, there's integrated information theory that says consciousness becomes stronger as systems become more integrated. And the hive mind in that TV show is the boss level of interconnectedness for all of us. You get total integration, you get no privacy, and everybody's emotional Wi Fi is merged. It's like the final evaluation of a group project where everybody magically pulls their own weight. And that's why they're so annoyingly peaceful. There's no internal conflict. There's no drama. There's no individuality in the TV show. Carol's the only one who's still doing her own homework. The others have already merged their brains into one giant operating system. Now, with social baseline theory, humans assume biologically that other people around are going to help. It's baked in, salt and bread. Or the hive mind in Pluribus takes that assumption and it cranks it up until the knot breaks off. You get perfect collaboration, you get perfect emotional support, you get perfect emotional backup, which sounds pretty good, but not if you're the one person who didn't get that update. Carol's basically a laptop that's running in support mode on battery saving mode, surrounded by a room full of devices, all plugged into one infinite shared power strip. You're going to lose your mind. Humans are going to spend massive amounts of brain power guessing what other people want or feel or think and regret. The others don't have to guess anymore. They just know. That means that there's no misunderstandings, no awkwardness, no secrets, and no lying anymore. Nobody's pretending that you'll love somebody's cooking when you absolutely do not like it. It sounds convenient, but it feels horrifying. Imagine never having a private thought again. Imagine your internal dialogue being in a group chat. That's Carol's nightmare, but for the others, it's just Thursday. If we want self determination, we need autonomy, we need competence, and we need belonging. And if you take a look at what the others are bringing, they bring belonging, they bring support, and they bring stability. But it casually eats autonomy alive like you're eating a free breadstick. It's like the psychological equivalent of being hugged by a giant golden retriever that will not stop hugging you. Carol needs her autonomy the way a drowning person needs air. The hive mind doesn't even remember what autonomy is, it does not exist. And then you've got trauma psychology. Carol has it passed with conversion therapy that's basically the emotional blueprint for the whole show. You've got identity erasure, forced conformity. People are saying, we're doing this because we love you. She's been assimilated once before. So when she sees the others all acting like, I don't know, Stepford puppies, she doesn't see peace. She sees the same old machinery that tried to overwrite her old sense of self. Her resistance isn't logical, it is survival. And this is Jung's collective unconsciousness. Jung said that humans share deep mental structures, archetypes, all the stuff underneath the surface. The hive mind flips the switch. It reveals what happens if those deep structures become our whole mind. The others are serene, they're childlike, they're connected, they don't have a shadow. But Carol, she's basically the walking, talking Jungian shadow that haven't been absorbed yet. So, where could you take a story like this? Well, if you look at the psychology, the themes, well, Vince Gilliam likes flipping moral compasses upside down. You've got a couple of options. Carol might not be the hero, she could be the firewall. The hive mind could be evolving. She's like a bug in the code, and she's preventing the optimal human consciousness from emerging. This is the congratulations, your individuality is now a tragic flaw. You could also look at the hive mind as not being enlightenment, but regression. Everybody's basically a really pleasant toddler in the show. Carol might be the one person who's capable of teaching the hive. You get boundaries, you get autonomy, you get conflict, you get agency. Everything that makes your life interesting instead of one ego free group hug. Then or humanity could evolve into some kind of hybrid mind in the end. I don't know. It's crazy. You'd have shared consciousness, you'd have private identity, you'd have empathy, you'd have autonomy. You just drop all of the creepy cult vibes. It would be nice. Humanity would install a patch that fixed the loneliness bug. So Pluribus isn't really about aliens or viruses or milk cartons. It's about our identity. It's about the terror of being alone and the fear of losing yourself. Pluribus really isn't about aliens or viruses or milk cartons. It is about our identity, I think. It's about the terror of being alone and the terror of losing yourself. It's about what happens when our boundaries or the mind. It's what happens when the mind loops being boundaries. Social media, but the show's kind of asking us: is individuality worth the pain? And what does a human mind become when it stops pretending it's separate? And honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on.